What's up? I want to talk about some gear that's inexpensive yet awesome that I recently bought online in my quarantine boredom. This video is not sponsored, but I did receive a couple of the items for free in exchange for an unbiased review. So the first thing I want to talk about is this amazing little mirror that I got from a company called Gurig. I'm not sure exactly what that name is. All this is a tiny little periscope mirror that you slot into your hot shoe on your camera, and it reflects the LCD mirror back at you so you can shoot selfies like I'm doing right now. And I didn't have to attach any sort of an external monitor or anything like that. So this is just one of those things that's a no-brainer. Okay, the next cheap, awesome thing I want to talk about is 3M Dual Lock adhesive. This is sort of like super Velcro. So I've been using Dual Lock for a few years now, and it just never lets me down. I have it all over my laptop, I have it all over my gimbal, I have it all over my camera, because if I want to mount something in a weird way, and I don't want to deal with a cage or some other complex way of rigging, then I just slap some Dual Lock on there, I press the two pieces together, and they stick and they stay. My next cheap, awesome item is Atmosphere Aerosol Sprayable Haze in a can. So you spray this around a room and it fills up the room with a subtle haze. This is not smoke, it's just supposed to be atmosphere. And it takes about 15 seconds of spraying to fill up a small room like this. And the haze lasts for around 5 minutes before it starts to dissipate. This really depends on the amount of airflow in the room. So you get about 5 minutes, I'd say, of spray per can. And in my quick tests so far, it has not left a sticky or wet residue behind on any surfaces. All right, next up I want to talk about the FILMMAKING Boom XD wireless microphone system. That's what you're hearing right now. You've been hearing it the entire time. It is a 2.4 gigahertz wireless system, and the cool thing about it is that you can use 2 transmitters at once. It comes with 2 transmitters. You can use it with a lav, like I'm doing. I'm wearing a lavalier mic. Or you can use it without the lavalier mic. It has a built-in microphone. They also don't have external antenna. So when I drop the transmitter in my pocket, I don't have to worry about the antenna breaking. Plus, the belt clip of the transmitter or the receiver will easily mount on the hot shoe of your camera. So in a lot of ways, it's very similar to the Rode Wireless Go, but you can use 2 mics instead of just 1. And the frustration I've always had with the Rode Wireless Go is if I'm filming 2 people talking, then I need 2 wireless Go's, and then I have to use some sort of a Y cable to plug both of those into my camera. So the FILMMAKING Boom XD costs about the same as 1 Rode Wireless Go, and it gives you 2 transmitters. In my mind, it's kind of a slam dunk. Now, I'll give you a quick test of the range right now. Okay, continuing. Can you see me? Here I am. Continuing to walk away. Okay, maybe 45 feet. Turning around. Facing away from camera. Can you hear me? Test, test, 1, 2, 3. Test, test, 1, 2, 3. Can you hear me? I'm facing away from camera. Here I am again. Main drawback is that you can't bring the volume low enough to account for the loudest peaks. So if I speak really loud, the audio levels actually peak. And even if I set the input volume at the lowest possible setting, even if the camera's volume on its microphone input is set all the way down, you'll still get peaking in the audio, and there's no way to avoid that. Other than that, these are pretty cool systems. You can't argue for the price. The next thing I want to talk about is the Inky Tech Benbox. This is the smallest, simplest, easiest to use wireless video transmitter that I've ever tried. And it seems like a lot of people maybe aren't that keen on wireless video transmitters because whenever I do a review of one, it doesn't get that many views. So maybe this isn't the most popular thing for a lot of people, but personally, as a gimbal operator, I find wireless video transmission to be invaluable to allow me to have a constant feed from my camera, even if I'm not able to see the LCD of the camera. I don't want to have to mount a monitor on top of my camera or on the gimbal because it makes the rig heavier. So now with this setup, I can wear my monitor on my wrist using a little sport band, and then I can monitor what I shoot via an app. The range hasn't exactly been mind-blowing. I'd say I can go about 50 feet completely reliably. And if I go further than that, then I might drop some frames, especially if my back is turned to the transmitter. It's pretty reliable as long as you don't go too far away with your monitor. Also, one more thing to note, the Benbox does not come with a receiver, so you can't plug it in to any HDMI monitor. All right, next up, the Insta360 Go. Basically an action camera that you can put anywhere. You've probably heard about it, you probably know about it, but the way I use it is very, very specific. I use it for behind the scenes footage because I can mount it with a necklace on my chest for chest level POV shots, or I can mount it on my head with the baseball cap mount, so I can get head level or chest level really easily. If I tried to use a GoPro for a chest mount shot, then I'd have to wear a GoPro chest mount that has to go over your shirt. And that's not what I want to be wearing when I have a shoot to worry about at the same time. And the same deal with wearing GoPro on my head. So the Insta360 Go is a lifesaver when it comes to effortless behind the scenes shooting. Last thing I want to talk about here is the focus shifter. This is the dead simplest focus pulling device. It's just a rubber band, a stick, and a counterweight. And all you do is you move the stick up and you move the stick down to change focus. Now there's a lot of things that kind of look similar on the market. You could even repurpose a bottle opener to do sort of the same job, but there's a couple things the focus shifter does that those DIY jobs don't. The first thing is it allows you to set marks. There's a marker board that comes with the focus shifter that also goes on your lens. And you can make marks on this marker board with a dry erase pen that erases very easily with your thumb. And it's really, really easy to view from behind the camera because of its position. And the second thing that makes the focus shifter different than just using a bottle opener or something is the counterweight. This is a very, very subtle difference, but to me, it's pretty important. So what happens with this counterweight is it offsets the weight of the bar that you use to pull focus. That means that you don't have to worry that your focus is going to drift because it's perfectly counterweighted. Also, this means it takes less effort to pull the focus. And the less you have to crank on your focus bar in order to shift the focus, the less camera shake you're going to cause by shifting focus. All right, so those are my cheap but awesome gear finds. If you found something that's awesome and cheap, then leave a comment below and tell me all about it. Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.